You know, he's come back and said, I don't like you. Well, fair enough, you don't like me. But all I've done is been honest and give constructive criticism on what you've done since losing to Ruiz and Usyk and where you're going now. You're fighting Dubois. There's no need to get personal. No need to start on a man's hooter. It's looking pretty good, by the way. And then you've got your £10 and your £20 notes rolled out on your bed. He's saying,
get on my level. Get on my level.
Levels. It's all about levels. Where's the humble guy gone? Where's remain humble?
This concept that AJ isn't who he says he is, that he's fake. First thing is, who are they to authenticate this man's fakeness or lack of fakeness? Who are they? So they're holding up Carl Froch as someone who's real. Well, the question is did he get the nose job for breathing issues? Or was it a cosmetic procedure for vanity? Now, in their standards of real and fake, where does that put Carl? Also, revealing what looked like a personal dialogue they had on WhatsApp. Revealing it rather than, okay, this is just between me and him. What kind of person does that make Carl? Carl trying to come off like that straight-talking Midlander. No frills. Probably should have kept that exchange to yourself then, between you and AJ. Or is he just two-faced? Calls himself the Cobra. Well, I guess that means he's a snake. Looks a bit millennial to me. And the Be Humble. What happened to the Be Humble, AJ? What happened to the Be Humble? Be Humble, like a lot of stuff, comes with terms and conditions. Do not disrespect the humble and take their kindness for weakness, or you can get a smack for that. Terms and conditions.
So I'ma have to diss who broke, you can get a smack for this.
If you think somebody's a prick, which AJ obviously thinks Carl Froch is, why would he show you humility and humbleness? I'm sure he used to be humble to Carl Froch, and vice versa, when they were both on Matchroom together as fighters, but something changed. Then we got to ask what changed. It looked like Carl changed. It looks like to get views on his channel, he's put a lot of people out there in a negative way, not just Anthony Joshua. And that's his choice. That's at his discretion. He does that. I'm not sub to his channel. I don't really like it, to be honest. I've watched a few videos, but I don't really like the channel for the most part. If I was in AJ's position, I would not be humble to Carl Froch. But that doesn't mean I'm not humble, because I'm not humble to Carl Froch. I would argue he brings out the belligerent side in people, and he attempts to bring out the belligerent side of people. So you get what you give. And I don't want to cancel Carl Froch. Go watch your Carl Froch videos if that makes you happy. I'm not going to watch him because I don't enjoy it. Let him do what he's doing. Isn't one of the principles of being English a democracy? Freedom of speech. At the same time, some of his biggest supporters, Carl Froch's biggest supporters, go around telling everybody to boycott Anthony Joshua's fights because of his speech on Black Lives Matter. Well, how English or British is that? If you can't see, his content relies on big, bloaty headlines that attempt to offend the personal persons they're talking about. And then he goes, oh, I'm just giving constructive criticism. I just said my opinion. Come on. Like, what are we, 2 years old? If you're going to throw rocks and claim you didn't throw them, you need to hide your hands better. Because that's the only reason the Mongs go over to his channel.
I think obviously Carl Froch, it's not something I ever expected Carl Froch to be doing, running his own YouTube channel and sort of criticising. I think his comments about the Saudi stuff and the atmosphere, I don't really get it. We know that the atmosphere is not as good as it is in the UK.
And this is what I'm talking about. When it's blatantly obvious, Carl jumped on Simon Jordan's rant about the Saudi atmosphere, but he did it for content. Because when he goes live on the Saudi cards, he's got the volume off. So how would he know what the atmosphere was like or not if he's got the volume off? And I was told this by several sources.
Frank, I want to get your thoughts on Carl Froch and AJ's beef. What did you make of that?
Look, I'm Team AJ all day. I love Anthony Joshua. Now, honestly, when you've been with someone, you work with someone for 12 years now, the relationship we've got, I love Anthony Joshua, and I think Carl Froch is jealous of Anthony Joshua, quite honestly. Carl did amazing things for the sport of boxing as well, but there's always going to be someone in any walk of life that does better than you.
Everybody has triggers. And AJ knew that counting that money and showing it to Carl Froch would get to him. Because Frank Smith is right. Carl Froch is jealous of Anthony Joshua. Carl Froch thought he was the darling of British boxing and matchroom boxing. Ironically, AJ was on the undercard of Carl's last fight where he knocked out George Groves. 80,000 at Wembley. I don't think Froch was expecting that the boxer on the undercard was going to exceed all of his box office and gate receipt records, but he did. You know, it became tedious, boring, and he sounded a tad bit bitter. The way he ranted about Andre Ward after Ward beat him. Ward kept holding and headbutting. Ward is boring every second. It just became boring, and that's the kind of shit I'd expect him to talk about in the podcast. It's just this bitter, jealous of AJ because he surpassed his numbers, but deny that's the truth when posed the question, is he jealous? Bitter that Andre Ward took the Super 6 title, but if you was to ask him that, are you bitter? Oh no, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.